Hey guys, we are back. um, so I'm gonna do this live. I'm gonna try to stay on for um, maybe an hour or so, maybe a little over an hour. I want to test this signal out and see if we are still going to be having issues with my internet. So those of y'all who have been watching my lives, and y'all know that, hey, Denise. Hey, Orlia, right? Orlia? Yes. Um, oh, okay. Yeah. I was wondering if you were working today, Denise. Hey, Nona. How you doing? So I got on the phone with my internet company this morning. And for those of y'all who don't know, I live out in the country. And we don't have a cable line, we don't have a phone line, so our traditional internet, we just can't get it. So our signal runs off of towers that bounce around from here to there, just within like maybe I don't know, a 60-mile radius, I'm thinking. So I got on the phone with them, and I told them the issues I was having, and I kept getting dropped. And oh, you did? Yeah, I was on kind of late last night, Denise. So I was telling them, all the issues that I was having and getting dropped and this and that. And I told them, I said, I was like, I really need to resolve this. Whatever we need to do, I need to do it. So he ran some tests, and he moved my signal to a different tower. So, he told me to, try to do one and see what happens. And if I'm still having issues, then, to call him back, and we'll do something else. But so I'm going to try to stay on for at least an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, because that's usually how long my lives last. So I'm going to try that. So we're going to make some bows for some projects that I have coming up. And that's all we're going to do. We're just going to make bows. So if anybody has ever been curious about how I make my bows, we're going to break them down. We're going to go real slow. I'm going to take my time, and we're just going to see how long I last on the air. So FYI, I'm just letting you know that if I get kicked off, I'm not going to come back. I'm going to just call my internet company straight up and get on the phone with them again. So if I do hi, Dee Dee, how you doing? Yeah, I'll be there in a little while. Girl, I need you bad right now. So if I do get kicked off, I'm just letting y'all know that I'm not going to come back. So I'm just going to get back on the phone with my internet company and let them know what happened, and we'll go to the next step of what we need to do. So hopefully this will last. So all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm probably going to try to make at least 4 bows. So I'm going to make 2 smaller ones for the swag that I'm going to do tonight. And then I have, hey, Babette. Is that how you say your name, Babette? I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I just want to make sure. Again, then I'm going to make a larger one, and for another project that I have that I'm probably going to do tomorrow during the day, but not on air. And then if we still have time, I'm going to make some patriotic bows for the craft show that I have on Saturday. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And like I said, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to go kind of, a little on the slow side, just so we can see how long I last. Hopefully it'll be a while. So if y'all have any questions at all, I'm going to be looking at the screen a lot more than I usually do, so I can keep an eye on. Hi, Susie. So I can keep an eye to make sure that everything is going good. Cause hi, Ruben. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, we're doing bows. That's all we're going to do. We're just doing bows. So I'm going to go really slow, and I'm going to keep an eye on my screen a lot more than I usually would, just so I can see that, you know, everything is going good as far as the signal. And if guys, if I start getting blurry or pixelated or anything like that, just comment on there right away. And because if that happens, I'm usually about to get dropped. So hopefully, you know, everything will stay good. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, we're going to break it down really slow today. So we're going to see how long I last on the air. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do 2 small terry bows for the swag that I'm going to do tonight. And those are the 2 that we're going to do first. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pan down, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And we'll see how long this lasts. All right. So I got my Easy Bow Maker here. And these are the ribbons that I'm going to use for my project tonight. I have just a gray and white striped. I have a black gingham check with welcome on it, and I have this this one's really cute. It's like it's got a whole bunch of farm stuff written on it. So if you haven't guessed, my project for tonight is going to be farm themed. And then we have this one. It's chicken wire with little chickens on it, and Tennessee. Hey, Judy. Okay, and then our 2.5 inches are going to be a red dash. There's a plain gray canvas in there. Then there's a gingham check, red, and then the black stripe will be our center loop. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So for the terry bow, guys, if any of y'all have not seen my previous lives, it's one of my favorite bows because it really is pretty simple to do once you hey, Debbie from Virginia. It's really simple to do once you've done it a couple of times. Okay, so for the terry bows that I do, I start off measuring 8 inches on the board because the Easy Bow Maker has it's got measurements on it. So I measure 8 inches from the pegs. I scrunch it up. I twist it 1 time. And when you twist it that 1 time, then you'll have the back side of the ribbon. Okay? So you place it down in there. You're going to put this tail down, facing towards you. Okay? So you have the underside of your ribbon. So I'm going to make these a little bit on the smaller side because, you know, the swag is not going to be that big. So I'm going to start at the 6, and then I'm going to scrunch it up again. You're going to twist it 1 more time to get that back side facing up. So check your measurement. This loop is going to go down towards you. So you have the underside of the ribbon right here. We're going to flip it over. We're going to measure 6 again. We're going to scrunch it up. And on the last one, guys, we do not need to twist it. We just place it straight down in between the pegs. Check your measurement to make sure you're at 6. This one is going to go up. I get my ribbons from everywhere, Judy. The 50-yard rolls are usually from Sims because they have a better selection as far as 50-yard rolls. But you know, I have ribbons from everywhere, from Craft Outlet, Sims, Deco Exchange, Trendy Tree. My ribbons come from everywhere. So the only thing is that you can only buy from Sims if you have a resale license. But everywhere else, you do not need a license to buy from. Okay, so I really prefer Craft Outlet because they give you kind of like a cashback type thing. And if you order over, I think it's $65 or $69, your shipping is free. Now, Sims, you could order $500 worth of stuff from Sims, and they're still going to charge you for shipping. And that's kind of a turnoff for me. I mean, if I'm going to spend that much, you know, I think you should pay for my shipping. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, guys. So this welcome has writing on it, has a pattern on it. So, hi, Karen. So when I have ribbons that have a pattern on them and I'm doing this bow, I like to break it up. So I'll cut the tails and the loops separately. That way everything is facing up. It's not, you don't have some of it upside down. You know, it's just something that I like to do. I mean, it's totally up to you if you don't want to do it that way, but you know, it's just something that I like to do. So our tails are 16 they're 8 inches on both sides, right? This way and this way. So I'm going to cut 16 inches. Okay. So I'm going to cut 16 inches. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to find the middle. I'm going to scrunch it up in the middle, and then I'm going to place it opposite of these two right here. Okay. So now my welcome is facing the same direction, and it just flows better. Okay. So we started off with a 6-inch loop. So now we're going to go down to 5.5. So that means each side is going to need 11 inches to get to 5.5. Plus, we're going to need just a little bit of overhang. So let me explain. So our loops all together are going to be 22 inches. So I'm going to cut 24 inches. So we'll have a little bit of an overhang. Okay. So I'm going to cut 24 inches. And this is only for when you have a pattern. If you don't have a pattern, like this right here is not a pattern. There's no words, there's no pictures, anything like that. So you can just do it normal. But if you have words or pictures or something like that, that's what I would call a pattern. Okay, so our loops are going to be, they are going to be 5.5. Okay, so I have 5.5 on each side. And if you see right here, there's a little bit of overhang in the middle between the two ribbons. And the reason that I have it like that is because when I scrunch it up in the middle and I place it, there's a little bit on each side, and it keeps it from falling apart when I place it down in the Easy Bow Maker. So now I'm going to place this opposite of my tails. So now my welcome is running all the same direction. So, you know, it's going down this way, and it's just, you're able to read what it says. So that's the reasoning behind me doing it that way. And like I said, if you don't want to do it that way, that's totally up to you. You can just do it the normal way. Okay. All right. So that one is done. We have another pattern here. So I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to cut 16 inches first for our tails. I'm going to find the middle, scrunch it up. I'm going to place it over the loops. So you see now how everything is just, it's running in the right direction. So there, you know, if you did it the other way, one of these would most likely be upside down. You know, the wording would be upside down. So that's the reason that I do it like that. Okay. So we're going to go down to 5 inches on the loops. So I'm going to cut a 22-inch piece because you'll need 10 inches for each loop plus a little bit of overhang. So I'm going to cut 22 inches. I'm going to fold it in half. We're going to need 5 inches on each side plus a little bit of overhang. Okay, and we'll scrunch it up in the middle, and we'll place it down in here opposite our tails. Okay, so now this is all running in the right direction. Okay. All right, so now we have our chicken wire, another pattern. It's not so much of a pattern as everything else. Yeah, there's some pictures on it, but I don't think it's gonna hurt too much if we do it the regular way. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it the regular way, as I, you know. Hi, Michelle. Oh, you're very welcome, Debbie. Hey, Tammy. Hey, don't worry about it. I'm taking my time. I'm just testing out my internet. I've been having some serious internet issues. So I got on the phone with my internet company this morning, and I'm trying to see if what they did is going to work. So I'm going very slow. I'm going very detailed, and I'm trying to keep an eye on my screen as much as possible so I can see if anything happens. So like I was telling everybody at the beginning, if I start getting pixelated or the signal starts getting blurry, please let me know, because I'm probably going to get dropped as soon as that happens. I'm going to try to stay on the air for at least an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, because that's usually how long my lives last. So we're just gonna make some bows. We're gonna see how it goes. Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this the regular way, guys, and because I don't think it'll really matter that much. So I'm gonna measure out 8 inches. I'm gonna scrunch it up. I'm gonna twist it one time. The underside is showing, but we're gonna flip it over to where the pretty side is showing. We're gonna go down to 4.5 inches. We're gonna scrunch it up. We're gonna twist it one more time. Place it down in there. Check your measurement. Make sure everything's good there. All right, this one's gonna go up. So guys, I don't know if I said this a minute ago, but every time you put on a ribbon, you're gonna do it the opposite way as the previous one, okay? So you see how we started right here. We have a loop, then we have a tail. We have a tail, then we have a loop, then we have a tail, now we have a loop. We're just going to do it opposite every single time you put on a ribbon. We're just going to do it opposite of the way that we did it last time, okay? So we twisted it. We're going to go back to the other side, 4.5. We're going to scrunch it up. No twisting on the last one. Check your measurement. This loop is going to go down, and then this tail is going to go down. All right. So that's it for our 2.5 inch ribbons. We're going to move on to the 1.5. All right, so we're going to do this this red dash. And when you start getting a couple of pieces on here, guys, you can just use your tail for measurement that you already have down here instead of like measuring it out. Just take your ribbon and put it next to the peg and just, you know, guide it with the ones that are already on there. Okay, so we're going to scrunch it up, twist it one time, place it down on top of this last loop that we just did. We're going to go down to 4 inches, and I don't know if y'all can see right here how big this opening is starting to get. When it starts getting like that, guys, what I usually do that's funny. That's funny, Tammy. Hey, Dawn, how you doing? Okay, Debbie, I do have a Pro Bow, and when I first started making bows, that's all I used. But I don't know. They're a lot of work. It kind of hurts my hands because you're constantly twisting that wire. And so for about 3 months straight, I was using that Pro Bow, and I don't know. I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna get an Easy Bow Maker, and I'm gonna see if that's easier on my hands. So if you have problems with your hands, I would say this one is better for you because you're only doing 2 twists at a time. Whereas when you're using the Pro Bow, you're still twisting and everything like that, and then you have to twist the wire at the same time. So, you know, I'm going to be 50 this year, and I've worked with my hands my entire life. I already have carpal tunnel, so I just find this a little bit easier to work with. Now the results are the same. I'm not gonna tell you, you know, the results are any different, but it just depends on you know, what kind of condition your hands are in, and you know, stuff like that. It's you know, it's a combination of different things. So I'm not going to tell you one is better than the other, because I don't think they are. Okay, so we are at 4 now. So we're going to measure it out. So I stuck it straight in here, and now on the back side back here, I'm going to go ahead and do my twist on the back side. Okay, and it's the same result. You're gonna get the same result. It's just that this, you know, this opening is a little bit wider now, so I just, when it gets like that, I'll just put my ribbon straight down into it, just like this. So our last one, guys, that we're putting on top here, we don't need to twist. We're just going to place it straight down in there. This loop is going to go up, and this tail is going to go up. Okay, and you can just use your other tails over here for measurement. All right. Okay. So now we're just going to use this plain gray, because this is going to be the sign that I'm going to use for tonight's project. And it's just a plain gray sign with white lettering on it. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and use this gray, because I want to bring some of this gray out in the ribbon. I mean, in the bow. Okay. So it's just a plain gray, plain canvas gray. So we're going to scrunch it up. And even though both sides of this are, you know, exactly the same, I'm still going to twist it. You know, it's going to make your bow look better if you have that twist in it anyway. Okay. Longesh, where are you watching from that you're going to sleep? Yeah, I'm sure they do make really, really good big bows, Tammy. I haven't tried that before, but maybe at Christmas time, when you know, the fall starts getting here, I'll probably bring it out and try to make some really big ones for like tree toppers. So, yeah. Okay, so we're still gonna do it the same way, except I'm just placing everything in here first. We're gonna go down to 3.5 inches. We're going to put it in there. We're going to twist it on the back side. We're going to bring it around 3.5 on this side. We don't need to do any twisting. We're just going to pull this tail down here. Okay. All right. Okay, now we're going to use this gingham check, because it's very, you know, country. I mean, when you think about country, you think about gingham check. So, all right, this one has something. I'm going to cut that off. Okay. We're going to measure this out, scrunch it up, twist it, place your tail down. We are going to go down to 3 inches now. All right. We're going to twist it on the back side. We're going to bring it around. And when you start getting a whole lot of ribbon in here anyway, guys, it wants to start coming up. So that's why I have my hands on top of it anyway, because it wants to start coming up. Okay. All right. So that's it for our loops. We are going to use this black and white stripe for our center loop. Okay. So we're just going to measure out the same length as the tails. We are going to scrunch it up like we normally would. We're going to twist it one time like we normally would. And then we're going to bring it back towards us, lay it on top of the other one, scrunch it up again. And now both of our tails are facing forward, and that's what we want. Okay. Just cut it off wherever. Use your backside ribbon as measurement. And we're just going to take this and we're going to place it down on top of everything. Okay? All right. So that's our center loop. So let me get out some zip ties. We're going to need a few. All right. Okay, so now we're going to take our zip tie and we're going to put it up underneath everything. We're going to lift up all of our loops. We're going to lift up all of our tails, and we're going to take this zip tie, which I hope is long enough, and we're going to put it right next to our 2 pegs. All right, we're going to take it and we're going to get it started before we take it off. Because I don't know about y'all, but my hands are not big enough to wrap around this thing and try to lift it up without it falling apart. Okay, so now that we got it started, you heard the clicking. You can hear that clicking, so you know it started, and then you can pull it off. Okay, so you see where that indentation is right here on the side from our center pegs. We're going to take our zip tie and we're going to move it over to that indentation. Okay, so just gently move it over. Don't be in a hurry, just gently move it over. And now we're going to take it and we're going to pull it around to the bottom. Okay, all right, so we're going to tighten it just a little bit more. We're not going to tighten it all the way because we need to move some stuff around, so just tighten it just a little bit more. And I'm going to get some pipe cleaners. So our mesh for tonight is black and white. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use a black pipe cleaner. I'm going to use 2 just in case, because pipe cleaners are cheap. So I'm going to take 2 pipe cleaners and I'm just going to twist them together. And then I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to twist it on that part again. Okay, because you can always, you know, cut these off on the back of your project if they're like way too long. All right, so we're going to flip it back over and I'm going to put this pipe cleaner in here. Okay, so now we are going to start moving stuff around to where we want it, because you want everything where you want it before you completely tighten your zip tie all the way. Okay, you don't want to tighten it all the way at the beginning, because then everything is just all over the place. Okay, so we're going to take 1 set of tails, 1 set of each ribbon, and we're going to take it and we're going to put it at the top. And the way that you know where the top of your bow is that your center loops are going to be facing down. Both of them are going to be facing down. Okay, so this is going to be the top of our bow. So we're going to take 1 tail off of each ribbon and we're going to move them to the middle. Okay, just like that. So now we have them all up here in the top. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We are going to take 1 tail of each ribbon, both of our center loop tails face down, and the rest of them we're going to take 1 tail off of each ribbon and we're going to move it down. Just like that. Okay, so now we have 1 set at the top, we have 1 set at the bottom. Now we're going to work with our loops. Okay, so for our loops, what I do is I crisscross them. So I have the welcome here, like both of them in my hand, and then the gray stripe, I have them down here. Okay, so the in between right here, we'll just move the other 2.5 in there. That way it makes a fan. Okay, we're going to do that on both sides. That way we can see all of our loops, okay? So on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make us a little fan with our 4 loops. Those are our 2.5. And then for our 1.5, we're going to do the same thing. I am going to put a gray right here. I'm going to put a gray down here. I'm going to put the red dash up here. And I'm going to put the red dash right here. And then our gingham check right here, we're just going to leave it in the middle. All right? So now we have everything pretty much where we want it. We're going to flip it over and we're going to completely secure everything in place. We're going to lock it all in place by locking this thing as tight as it'll go. Okay? All right. So now everything is locked into place. I mean, yeah, it's going to move around a little bit, but it's not, you know, going to go all willy-nilly on us. Okay? All right. So now we're going to dovetail. Let me check the comments, guys. That black and white, yeah. Yeah, I like to use this a lot in my center loops. It does, yeah, most of my, Tammy, most of my wreaths are, they're too fluffy for me to get a zip tie around them. Even if I use, like, I don't know, I have to have a lot to secure mine to it. Hey, Monica, how you doing? I have to have a lot of this to attach them because they're just so big. Okay, so we're going to dovetail now. So this is, like I said, this is going to be the top. This is how we know it's the bottom because our center loops are down here. So for the top, guys, on, oh, I have a pair of scissors right here. On the top, I usually dovetail my, my tails a little bit shorter than what I would do on the bottom. Because if you leave them this long, after a while, they tend to want to just start flopping back down anyway. So I'll dovetail these just a little bit shorter than I would on the bottom. That way you can control them a little bit better. If they're too long, they want to start flopping around like this, and that just irritates me. So I'm gonna make them a little bit shorter, and I'm not gonna measure anything. I'm just gonna, you know, cut them wherever I feel like cutting them. That's usually how I do all of my dovetailing. I just, you know, cut wherever. I don't make them all the same length. I keep some longer, I keep some shorter, but I don't measure anything. I just cut. Okay. All right. So those are our bottom ones. I mean, our top ones. So now we're going to move over to the bottom. We're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to keep them longer. But I'm still not going to, you know, measure anything. I'm just going to cut them at different lengths, even on the bottom. But I am going to keep them a little bit longer than I would on top. Okay. And the reason that I dovetail this way, you know, at different lengths is, one, you can see, you know, all the different ribbons if they're at different lengths, and two, it just it makes your bow different from everybody else's. And I don't know, you know, how many of y'all look online at people's wreaths, but when I do, the first thing I notice is their bows. I don't know why. My eye is just drawn to the bow. So you want your bow to stand out. You want your bow to look different from everybody else's. Okay, so that's the way that I do this. Hey, Tammy, different Tammy. Hey, Susie. The hard part right now is only have the other bow maker. What other bow maker, Susie? The Pro Bow? Is that the only one you have? Okay, so now we're going to fluff it up. And I kept this zip tie on it, guys, because I use it kind of like a handle. So when I'm fluffing everything up, okay? So to fluff up your bows, it's very simple. Very simple to fluff up your bows. All you're going to do is you're going to take your hand, you're going to stick it inside that loop, and you're going to spread your fingers apart like that, okay? And you're going to do that on every single loop. You're just going to put your hands in there, and you're going to open everything up, okay? And do the same thing on the other side. Stick your hands in there. Open it up. And this is my favorite part, guys. This is when I start really seeing what my bow looks like, is when I start doing this. But my absolute favorite part is when I curl the tails. Okay, so now we have all of our loops open. Our center loop, guys, you see you got your zip tie right there. You just open that thing up and you put it right on top of that zip tie. Nobody will even know that thing is there, okay? And that's what the purpose of our center loop is for. So nobody knows that, you know, they don't see the mechanics of your bow. Okay, so now we have our loops. Now we're going to work on our tails, okay? So to do our tails, guys, you can either put it with your thumb and your index finger, or you can put them between your index finger and your middle finger. It doesn't really matter. So you're just going to take it and you're going to pull it up just a little bit and curl it at the same time on the end, okay? And you're going to do that for every one of them. This is what is going to make your bow completely stand out from everybody else's, okay? So we're going to do that for each loop. We're just going to take it. We're going to just pull on it in a slight upward motion and kind of twist it down at the same time. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the bottom of the bow. We're going to curl our little tails. And when you have really long tails, guys, this looks amazing. I mean, it looks amazing anyway with the smaller tails, so you can imagine what it looks like when you have longer tails. All right. All right. So look at that. See? This is a beautiful bow, you know? You can see all of your loops, and that's the reason that I put my tails up here and down here. That way you can see all of your loops on both sides. And that right there is what makes your bow look good. You know, if you have your tails all willy-nilly all over the place, it just, I don't know, it's not a good look. So, hi, Sharon. How you doing? Oh, the Pro Bow. Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Tammy, if you want to share it, yeah, that's fine. You have to get in your craft room and tie this bow. Yeah. So, guys, I mean, it's a very easy bow to make once you've done it, you know, 2 or 3, 4 times. It gets really, really easy. I can whip these out in like probably less than 10 minutes because I've done them so many times. And you know, there's no wire, you know, there's none of that stuff involved. So the Pro Bow takes a while. It does. And I'm not knocking the Pro Bow. You know, the Pro Bow is very, very useful for some things, for some people. But you know, for me, I just prefer the Easy Bow. It's easier on my hands and it's quicker. So that's why I prefer the Easy Bow. Okay. So there is bow number 1. We are going to make another one just like this. And then we're going to move on to the, you know what, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to the bigger bow. Okay. We're going to make, and I don't even know if this other bow that I'm fixing to make has a name. I'm not sure. But I just call it the big, long, flowy bow. That's my name for it. I don't even know if it has a name. But this is the Terry bow. So I think I broke it down, you know, good enough for everybody to, you know, watch the replay, and you should be able to make this. So if you do, guys, if you do, I want you to take a picture of it and send it to me on my business page. I would really love to see it. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, you're very, very welcome, Francine. Okay, so let's move on to the bigger bow. I'm going to go ahead and cut off this zip tie before I forget. Let I'll be trying to stick it on my project tonight with the zip tie still on it. Oh. All right, so that is bow number 1. It's our terry bow. I'll put this off to the side. And we are 40 minutes in, guys. Ooh, I'm excited. Wow, I can't believe that bow took it took that long. But I wanted to go slow anyway. So okay, so guys, can y'all excuse me for a minute? I'm going to go over here to the side of the table and I'm going to knock my pegs in. That's the only gripe I have about the Easy Bow Maker, is that the pegs get loose. And every time I make a bow, I try to knock the pegs back in. Okay, so I'm going to go right over here and I'll be right back. All right. Okay, so now we are going to do my second favorite bow. And like I said, I don't know if it has a name on a name for it. If it does, I don't know what it is. Okay, so these are the ribbons that we are going to use for this bow. These are our 2.5 inches that we're going to use. And then our 1.5 inches are these. Okay. And I personally like to use 8 ribbons on my bows almost all the time. The only one that I don't do that, hi Brenda, the only one that I don't do that on is the Lisa bow, because if I used 8 ribbons on the Lisa bow, that bow would be just humongous, because you know you got to do the 2 1 2 1 2 1. So yeah, it would be like, it'd probably be about this, it'd probably stand about this tall. So okay, so we're gonna do this one first. It's kind of like a coffee color and a cream color, I guess you could say, stripe. So this one, guys, I'm going to make pretty long tails, and I always do for this bow, because I love the way the bows hang down when I do this. So I'm going to make my tails 14 inches. We're going to scrunch it up. We're going to twist it one time, just like we did on the terry bow. Okay. The only difference between this bow is we are not going to be making an X. All the tails are going to go down. Okay. And all of our loops are going to go up. And when we're done with this part of it and I take it off, I'll explain why I do that. Okay. So I'm going to start at 6.5 inches on this one. So we're going to scrunch it up. We're going to twist it one time. Check my measurement. It's going to go up. All the loops are going to go up on this one. 6.5 on the other side. Scrunch it up. No twisting. Just place it down in there. Check your measurement. This one's going to go up. Everything's going to go up, and all the tails are going to go down. So you can just use this tail that we have right here for measurement. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, 100% exact, because we're going to dovetail them anyway. Okay, so that's number 1. We're going to use this tan cabana stripe next. And since all of our tails are going to go down and all of our loops are going to go up, the only difference between each ribbon is we're going to go down 1/2 inch, okay? But everything else is going to be the same. So twist it one time, place it down in there. Your tail is going to go down. We're going to go down to 6 inches. Scrunch it up. Twist it. Put your loop at the top. Six inches on the other side. No twisting on the last one. Just place it straight down in there. Okay. And just use this tail for measurement. Guys, do not be afraid to mix your patterns. I mix my patterns like crazy. and I know y'all have noticed that. I have vertical stripes, I have horizontal stripes. Now I'm about to use dots. Then I'm going to use rickrack, and then I have some argyle in here. Don't be afraid, guys. You know, don't be afraid to mix your patterns. You don't have to have, oh, thank you, Brenda. You do not have to have, you know, all the same pattern. You don't. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. We are going to use this. It's the same color as this stripe, pretty close, but it's a dot. Okay. So we're going to use this one next. Hi, Tracy. How you doing? I'm testing out my internet, guys. I'm hoping I stay on. I'm hoping I stay on for tonight's project. I had some stuff done by my internet company this morning. So hopefully this resolves my internet issues. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I measured out my tail. We're going to place it down in there. We twisted it. We are going to go down to 5.5 inches this time. I know it's strange for you guys to see me on in the middle of the day. And I really didn't expect to see anybody on here. I was expecting maybe 3 or 4 people, and that was it. But I wasn't expecting any more than that. Okay, so I twisted it. I stuck it down in there. We're at 5.5 inches now. We're going to do 5.5 on the other side. No twisting on the last one. Just place it straight down in there. And again, our loops go to the top and our tails go down. I've had a lot of people message me about my bows. You know, they really want to learn. So I figured I would do this today. That way, you know, it'll stay on my page, and you know, you can always go back and watch it later. So yes, I am going to do a live tonight, Tammy. It will probably what is today? Today's Monday. Either 8 or 8:30. So Brenda, this is the sign that I'm using tonight, and I'm gonna make a swag with this black and white checked mesh. Okay, and the first bow that I just got through making is going to be one of the bows that goes on the swag. Okay, so I'm going to make another bow, probably the same length, and I'm going to put the sign. I haven't decided if I'm going to put the sign in the middle or at the bottom, or where I'm going to put the sign. I haven't decided that yet. So that's going to be for tonight's project, and fingers crossed everything stays good. Okay, so we're going to use the rickrack next, because I love this ribbon, guys. I love the rickrack. I love every single rickrack I have. It's just so, I don't know, it's so whimsical and throwback, and I don't know, I just love it. It reminds me of my childhood for some reason. I don't know, maybe I had a bunch of clothes when I was little that had rickrack on it. I'm not sure. Okay, so just use your other tails for measurement, guys. It doesn't have to be perfect. Scrunch it up, twist it one time, place it down in there. We are going down to 5 inches now. Okay, so 5 inches. Scrunch it up, twist it. All right, we're going to do 5 inches on the other side. No twisting on the last one, just place it straight down in there. Check your measurement. If you need to pull on it a little bit, you can. It's totally fine. Just to make sure you got it even. And then cut off your tail. All right. So that's it for our 2.5 inches. Now we're going to go down to our 1.5 inches. But we're still going to be doing the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to use this green argyle next. And the reason that I'm using this this green and blue, guys, if you want to know, it's for this sign. And you see how it has the green and the blue in it? So I wanted to throw some green and blue into this bow. So it'll bring out the green and the blue on the sign. So that's why I'm using the green and the blue. You're probably wondering, like, well, she's got all that brown, and now she's throwing in some green and some blue. What's wrong with her? Is she colorblind? No, I'm not colorblind. I'm not colorblind. Hey, Tequila, how you doing, Mama? No, Tammy, it's going to be Central Time. So Eastern Time, that will be either 9 or 9:30. Okay, I live in Texas, so I'm in the Central Time Zone. Good golly, Miss Molly, I just found these. Oh, Susie. Yeah, I like that sign too, Brenda. I like that sign too. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the tequila. I've been having some serious internet issues, so I thought I would come on in the middle of the day and see if what my internet company did this morning is going to work. So I know it's strange to see me in the middle of the day. All right, so I'm going to measure out my tail, scrunch it up, twist it. We are going to go down to, where are we at? We got 6.5, 6, 5.5, 5. So now we're going down to 4.5. And guys, again, my opening is getting real big, so I'm going to place my my ribbon in there first before I twist it. That way I can keep a little bit better control over my ribbon. Okay, we're going to go down to 4.5. We're going to twist it on the back side. We're going to bring it, place it down in between the pegs again. We're going to do 4.5 on the other side. No twisting on the last one, just place it straight down in there. Cut off your tail. All right, so now we're going to do the blue, because this green and this blue is going to pop out on this bow when you have all this brown on here. And that's the look I was going for. Okay, scrunch it up, twist it. We are going down to 4 inches now. So I'm placing it in there, checking my measurement, and then I'm twisting on the back side. Placing it in there. No twisting on this last one. And when you stick it in these pegs right here, guys, like that, it automatically scrunches it up for you. So that's why, you know, you don't have to worry about scrunching it up. Just place it down in there, and it'll, that opening will scrunch it for you. Okay. All right. So we have one more for the loop. No, we have 2 more. Sorry, we have 2 more. Because there is no there's no center loop on this one, guys. Once you fluff up your bows, your loops and stuff, you won't be able to see that zip tie. Okay, so I have this vertical, I have this on the bottom, and I'm putting it back on the top as a 1.5 inch, just so it can make these other 2 colors pop really good. Okay, so scrunch it up, twist it. Place it down in there. We are at 3.5 now. So place it in there. Twist it on the back side. Fold it over. Place it straight down in there. and then cut off your tail. All right, we got one more. This bow is going to be just bow-licious. I love this bow. And like I said, I have no idea what the name of it is, but I love it. If it even has a name. Maybe it doesn't have a name, guys, and maybe I could just, name it the Trisha bow. What do y'all think? I'm sure there's a name to it, but I don't know what it is. All right, so this is going to be our last one. And it's just a plain cream colored canvas ribbon. Okay, we're going to scrunch it up. We're going to twist it. We're going down to 3 inches on our last loop. Okay, that's 3. Twist it on the back side. Yeah, I think I'm going to need my long zip tie for this one. You see how high that ribbon is, guys? Look how high that ribbon is. I'm like over halfway up the pegs already. Okay. All right. Okay. Definitely going to need my longer zip tie for this one. There's a whole lot of thick ribbon on here. All right. Let me catch up on the comments. Hi, Helen. How you doing? I know, Tequila. I have actually been on for 56 minutes now. Hi, Joy. Yeah, I have been on for 56 minutes and 45 seconds. So I'm starting to get excited. Okay, so let me get out my extra long zip tie because we're going to need it. Guys, I got this thing at Harbor Freight for $5. It was on clearance. It has like, I don't know, 10,000 zip ties in it. I don't know. It has a lot. Okay, so this zip tie is 11 inches long. I guess as long as the one you used, Tammy. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing as we did on the Terry bow, guys. We're going to slide it under every loop, every tail, and we're going to put it right up against those pegs. Okay, we're going to get it started. All right. And we're going to pull this thing off. Okay. So we're going to slide everything over just like we did for the bow a while ago. We're going to slide this zip tie over to the indentation, and then we're going to pull it around to the back. Let me get a beige zip tie. The zip tie. Let me get a beige pipe cleaner. I've just gotten into the habit of using 2 pipe cleaners because I buy the pipe cleaners from Sims, and you get a box of 100 for $3, so they're only 3 cents a piece. So, it doesn't really bother me that much to use 2 of them. I would rather have too much to attach to my wreath than not enough, because that would not be good. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it up underneath here. All right, I'm going to tighten it just a little bit more before we start moving things around. So since all of our tails are going down, guys, we don't even need to move. We don't even need to move any of our tails. They're all going to go down. Okay, so for the loops, we're going to do the same thing that we did on the Terry bow. We're going to make them opposite of each other. So I have one up here. I have one down here. I'm going to put one cabana stripe up here. I'm going to put one cabana stripe at the bottom. And then the other 2, the rickrack and the dot, I'm going to move these opposite. That way we have light, and dark. Okay. All right. So we got our 2.5 inches in place. So for the 1.5 inches, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put I'm going to put the green up and down. I'm going to put the blue up and down. And then I'm going to take the other two and put them in between. So you're just making, just like you did with the terry bow, guys, you're just making a fan. That way we can see all of our loops. We want to be able to see everything. Because if anything is hidden, if you see how I have those splashes of color in there, so it's going to draw your eye to everything. You're not, your focus isn't going to be stuck on just one thing. You're going to be able to, you know, it's going to make the movement of the bow a lot better. Okay. All right. So now that we have all of our loops where we want it, we're going to turn it over and we're going to lock everything into place. Okay. So guys, once I fluff up my bows, these are going to come, you know, pretty close together and they're going to hide that zip tie. But if it really, really bothers you, you can always just take a piece of ribbon and, you know, run it around this zip tie if it really bothers you that much. But once we fluff it up, I'm pretty sure you'll see that you're not going to be able to see it. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure Tequila, somebody has already made this bow before. I'm pretty sure I'm coming late in the game here, so I'm pretty sure somebody has a name for this bow already. Attaching the tends to make it too tight and it pulls down the wreath. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on that, Debbie, because I've tried that a couple of times with a zip tie and I just over tighten it every single time. So, the pipe cleaners, you can leave it just a little bit looser. And like I said, you put two of them together and, if you do happen to make it too tight, all you have to do is undo the pipe cleaners and loosen it up a little bit, and then retie it. So, okay. So now we're going to do our fluffing. And we're going to fluff the same way we did with the terry bow. We're just going to stick our hands in the loops, fluff them up. Nothing, it's not rocket science. Just stick your hands in there and do every one. And then the same thing with our 1.5 inches. Oh my God, guys, I broke an hour. I'm at 1 hour and 3 minutes, guys. So I think this is going to be our last bow because I really wanted to make it to 1 hour, and I'll probably just, yak a little bit just to get us to like 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay. And just, play with it until you get it to where you want it, where you like it. Okay, so our loops are done. You see how you can't see how you can't see that zip tie? And you've got, little splashes of color in here, which really, brings your eye all around. Okay, so now we're going to do our tails, guys. Let me pick this camera up just a little bit. Okay, so for our tails, we're going to do it exactly the same way as we did with our terry bow. We are going to take our hands and we are going to curl these tails. And this makes your bow look just fabulous. Just fabulous, guys. Fabulous. And that's the reason why I wanted to keep my my tails longer than normal, because this right here just really makes your bow stand out. And guys, I did not freaking dovetail my, okay, let's stop. I did not dovetail anything. As Tequila likes to say, your ribbon will forgive you. So I'm going to smash it all flat again. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to dovetail. I can't believe I forgot to do that. Good Lord. I was excited when I saw an hour on the computer. Guys, has my picture went blurry at all? Hi Cecilia. Has my picture went blurry at all, guys? Have any of y'all noticed if it went like pixelated or anything? Can y'all let me know if the picture stayed good? And when I dovetail these guys, just like I did on the terry bow, I'm just cutting wherever I feel like cutting. You don't have to measure anything. Just cut wherever you want to cut. Yeah, I know that's your favorite saying, Tequila. Okay, great, great. Oh, great. It did get blurry, but it goes back. Really? Oh, man. Was it like real blurry, Tequila? Man, here I was thinking I was doing good. Okay, I think that's all of them. Okay, so let's start back with the curling. So we're just gonna curl everything like we did on the terry bow. Just take it and run your fingers just like that through all of your ribbon. Every single one you got on here. And there's a lot. So it might take a minute, but the result is amazing. So just, you know, take your time. Just take it and run your fingers like that. And this is the most important reason why you have to use wired ribbon, because your regular ribbon will not do this, guys. No matter how hard you try, it will not do this. All right. There we go. We got our long flowy tails. If this was on a wreath, you'd really be able to, it would stand out even better. That because when it's laying down like that, it really looks good. And like I said, guys, if you're afraid, you know, you're gonna, you know, somebody's gonna say something about your zip tie, you can always run a piece of ribbon around it, around the entire thing, just to if you know, if you really want to, if you're really worried about it, should I say. Joanne, I live in Southeast Texas. I live in a little bitty town called Edna. We only have like 5,500 people in this town, and it is about an hour and a half south of Houston, going towards Corpus. Oh, it's like it's doing the autofocus. I took the autofocus off. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great, guys. Most of you are saying that the picture looked okay. So that's great. Oh, great. Monica, it was clear on your end the whole time. That's awesome. 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 Oh, you're very welcome, Debbie. You're very, very welcome. Oh, and you're in Rocheron? Oh my God, Maria. Wow. You are just like a hop, skip, and a jump away from me. Ruben, you're in San Antonio. Hey, shout out to San Antonio. So yeah, guys, I have officially been on for an hour and 10 minutes now. So I think I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna pray for a little bit just to be on the safe side. I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna pray just in case, you know, for tonight's live. So yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I appreciate it. Michigan. Okay. Connie's from Michigan, guys. Yeah, country internet. I'm Sharon. I'm sure you do have country internet. So I've been going round and round with my internet for the past 6 or 7 days. So yeah, hopefully you're not the only one that lives in Missouri, Tammy. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are just not saying anything. Maybe not on this live, but you know, Oak Harbor, Ohio. Okay. Oh, thanks, guys. I really appreciate those comments. I really do. You know, the job that I have, my full-time job that I have, I've been doing it a very, very long time. I've been at that plant for 26 years. So half of my life, because I'll be 50 this year. So half of my life I've been working where I work. And so when we get new people in, I'm the one that usually trains them. So when I train somebody, I do not assume they know anything. And maybe that's why I do this bow tutorial, wreath tutorial thing so well, because I don't assume anybody knows anything. And that's the best way to teach somebody. Let me pick the camera up so y'all can actually see me. That's the best way that I have found to teach a person, is to not assume that they know anything about anything. You know, if you do, great. If you don't, then I don't want to just skip over things thinking that you already know it. And I think that's the biggest problem that most people have, is that they assume everybody knows what they know, and they don't. You know, what you know in your head doesn't necessarily match what somebody else knows in their head. So I've been doing, you know, training at my job for, you know, 10, 11 years now. So when I get a new person in and I have to train them, you know, I start from the bare basics, you know, because I do not want to assume that they know anything. I want to make sure that they understand everything before I set them loose. And maybe that's why, you know, I'm, according to y'all's comments, you know, good at this. Maybe that's why, I don't know. But I really appreciate that, guys. I do. I really appreciate that. I try, and hopefully my my internet will cooperate with me from now on. We'll see. But so tonight I will post in my business page. I'm thinking 8 or 8:30. That's Central Time. So if you're in Eastern Time, that will be 9 or 9:30. If you're in Mountain Time, then that will be 7:30, 7 or 7:30. And then if you're on the West Coast, it'll be 2 hours before that. It'll be like 5 o'clock. So if anybody's on the West Coast. But I will post on my business page exactly what time, and a picture of all of the stuff that we're going to do. And I'm going to go off camera and say a prayer. So y'all pray for me too, that my that my internet cooperates tonight, because, whoo, Lord, after 4 Buffalo, New York. Hey, Lockhart. Oh, Lockhart, South Carolina. Okay, because there's a Lockhart, Texas here. So I was like, what? You live in Lockhart? Wow. There's too many Texans on here today. So, oh, really? Thanks, Tequila. I didn't realize that, but thanks. I should do wreath and bow making full time. Yeah, that's not going to pay for my mortgage. Yeah, we still have 13 more years on our house. So yeah, I don't think that would pay for the mortgage. But I appreciate the comment. So 59. No, not 59, 50, 50. No, not 59, 50. I'll be 50 in August. August 30th is my birthday. I'll be 50. So my son just had a birthday this past Friday. He turned 29, and oh my God, that just made me just like feel so old. And I only have one grandchild. It's probably going to be the only grandchild that I have, because my son's wife, already had a daughter. So when she had my grandson, she had her tubes tied. She said she didn't want any more. She had a boy and a girl. So they were done. And then my daughter, who's 27, just does not want to have anything to do with children at all. She does not like kids, does not like to be around babies. So the likelihood of her having a child is slim to none. So I'll probably only end up with the 2 that I have. So, which is, you know, that's God's plan. So there's nothing I can do. Thank you, Helen. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Hour and 15 minutes. So I think we're good, guys. I think we're good. So I'm not going to try to get too cocky. You know, I'm praying and hoping for the best tonight. So just keep an eye on my business page, and I'll let y'all know exactly what time we're going to go on tonight. We're going to make a swag. We're going to make a farmhouse swag for my craft show this weekend. And so I will see you guys tonight, okay? I appreciate every one of y'all coming on. And I know it's the middle of the day and, you know, stuff like that. It's, you know, a little weird being on in the middle of the day, but I appreciate every one of y'all coming on. And I will see you tonight, okay? All right. Goodbye, guys. Thank you.